Hello everyone, my name is Havian and today I'll be talking to you about Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Dissidia NT is the latest entry in the Final Fantasy fighting game series. Previously the games were released back on the PSP, and right now it's available to play in arcades across Japan. But in 2018 this game will be releasing on the PlayStation 4. For those of you that have played the previous games, some things may seem familiar, but there are a lot of changes that you'll need to know about before you play this one. In the past, Dissidia has had a focus on 1 vs 1 battles, but in Dissidia NT, the game is built around 3 vs 3 team battles. More people on the battlefield can make things seem hectic at first, but hopefully once I've explained the basics to you, you'll be able to understand everything you need to jump right into the game. This information is based on an early build of the PS4 version, so there may be a chance some game mechanics could be tweaked before launch. In Dissidia NT you'll fight as and against various characters from the Final Fantasy series. Each of these characters will have their own unique combos and abilities, but they will all fall into one of 4 character types. Vanguards have slower attack speed, but they have much wider attacks than the other character types. Vanguards include Cloud Strife, Firion, Cecil, and the Warrior of Light. Assassins are fast, have high mobility, and can perform 2 mid-air jumps, but they may not hit as hard as the other character types. Assassins include Lightning, Zidane, Tidus, and Squall. Marksman character types are best at attacking from a distance, but they may not be as effective when fighting at close range. Marksmen include Terra, Ishtola, and Shantoto. And finally Specialists. They have unique skills that can benefit the whole party, but are more technical to play. Specialists include Onion Knight, Bartz, and Vaan. Picking a character that complements the rest of your team will be beneficial in the long run, but when you're just starting out, try to pick a character you feel comfortable with, so you can get a feel for the game and get used to the gameplay. After you've selected your character, the next thing to select is your battle set. Battle sets contain the abilities that you can use during battle. The majority of the time, these sets will include 1 HP attack and 2 EX skills, but there are some unique characters that may not follow these rules. If you've never played a Dissidia game before, the terminology used to describe certain gameplay systems may confuse you at first, but it's very simple to understand once it's broken down. The main controls to remember are triangle to use EX skills, X for bravery attacks, square for HP attacks, R1 for dash, L1 to guard, L1 plus left stick to sidestep, circle to jump, L2 or R2 to change targets, and R1 and circle will let you run up walls and other obstacles. EX skills are skills that can benefit you in a variety of ways. Each character will have a unique EX skill that will be there no matter which battle set they use. These EX skills can range from buffs that absorb HP from an opponent, or an additional powerful attack. The unique EX skills can be executed by pressing triangle when not pushing forward or back on the movement stick. The additional EX skills obtained from battle sets are shared between a variety of characters. Some of these can heal HP, or even increase the damage of your party members. These EX skills can be executed by holding up on the left analog stick or down, and then pressing triangle. The important thing to know about EX skills is they can't be used all the time. At the start of a battle, EX skills will need time to charge. When the skill is fully charged, it will begin flashing to let you know that it's ready for use. Once the skill is used, it will have a brief cooldown period before it's ready again, so make sure you use these skills when the time is right. If you want to keep track of when these skills will be available, you can check the bottom left of the screen next to your character's HP. This area will also show the button inputs needed to activate your EX skills. We've gone over the EX skills, but bravery and HP attacks are what you'll be using the majority of the time during battle. When bravery attacks connect, they will increase your bravery and decrease your opponent's bravery. And when you use a HP attack, you will use all the bravery you've collected to inflict damage on the opponent. Your bravery is the raw damage you will inflict if your HP attack connects with your opponent, so making sure that you attack your opponent while avoiding bravery damage is essential. You can see how much bravery you currently have by looking at the large numbers above your HP bar at the bottom of the screen. You can also view your opponent's bravery on the bottom right of the screen, or by checking the numbers above your opponent's head. If you continue to attack until your bravery glows purple, that means you've stored more bravery than your opponent's current HP. Connecting a HP attack at this point will kill your opponent in one hit. but the same can be said for you if any of your opponents have purple bravery, so be careful. When you're just getting started with the game, it's best not to aim for purple bravery. You're working as a team, so when the opportunity presents itself, use your HP attacks to inflict damage on your opponent. It will make life easier for you and your teammates if you can finish off an opponent that has low HP, rather than risking a full stack of bravery in an attempt to one-shot an opponent. It's also worth mentioning that when your HP attack hits an opponent, your bravery will be dropped down to 0. But your bravery will start to recharge back to the default value after a small amount of time has passed. Be careful though, during this period your character will be vulnerable. When anyone has low bravery, they run the risk of being broken by their opponent. If enough bravery attacks are landed on an opponent with low bravery, a break bonus is granted once you force their bravery to 0. This boosts the bravery of the person that drained all the opponent's bravery by an extra 1000, putting them at a serious advantage and giving them a chance to follow up with a heavy hitting HP attack. Characters have bravery attacks that they can use for different situations by pressing X, up an X, or down an X on the ground or in the air. Some characters may be able to even charge these attacks so they can cover more ground or deal more damage. These attacks can be comboed, and the majority of these bravery combos will launch an opponent far away once the final hit connects. You can follow this up by holding the R1 dash button to give chase and continue attacking your opponent. If you're near a wall or the edge of an arena, you can use an attack that knocks your opponent back to pin them to the wall for a few seconds. This will give you just enough time to hit them with a HP attack and inflict some direct damage to them. If you're defeated in battle, it will take 1 life away from your team, and your team will have a total of 3 lives. If you are defeated, you will be able to reposition yourself on the map and respawn at a safe or strategic location, so there's still a chance for you to make a comeback. Summons are another major part of battle that can really give you a huge advantage. After selecting your character and your battle set, you'll be able to select a summon. Your summons will offer a team-wide buff at the start of battle, but they will also constantly deal bravery damage to your opponents and give your team a more potent buff if they are successfully called into the field. You have a few summons to choose from. Leviathan will give your team the Tidal Roar buff at the start of battle, and this will increase your team's debuff skill gauge gain. After summoning, Leviathan will give the team the Sheer Misery buff that increases debuff skill gauge gain and increases the effect duration. Alexander will give your team the Providence buff at the start of battle, and this will increase your team's maximum HP value. After summoning, Alexander will give the team the Divine Bulwark buff that increases the team's maximum HP and defense. Bahamut will give your team the Frenzied Bellow buff at the start of battle, and this will increase your team's unique EX skill gauge gain. After summoning, Bahamut will give the team the Draken Scourge buff that will increase unique EX skill gauge gain and effect durations. Odin will give your team the Grease Lightning buff at the start of battle, and this will increase your team's dash gauge recovery. After summoning, Odin will give the team the Blade Glint buff that will quicken gauge recovery and movement speed. Ramil will give your team the High Voltage buff at the start of battle, and this will increase your team's buff skill gauge gain. After summoning, Ramil will give the team the Catalyzing Spark buff that will increase buff skill gauge gain and effect durations. Shiva will give your team the Overflow buff at the start of battle, and this will increase the recovery to the default bravery value. After summoning, Shiva will give the Algid Aura buff that will increase the default bravery value and recovery speed for the team. And finally, Ifrit will give the team the Warcry buff at the start of battle, and this will let your team reduce your foe's guard stamina quicker. After summoning, Ifrit will give the Meteor Strike buff that will let your team reduce your opponent's guard stamina more quickly and increase your bravery attack power for your team. The summon that your team will use is based on a majority vote. If your team doesn't come to a unanimous decision, then a summon will be selected at random from the ones chosen. Your summoning gauge will increase during the course of battle. This is shown at the top left of the screen above and below the team life bars. During the match, summoning cores will appear on the field. Holding L2 and R2 will lock onto these cores, and attacking them will rapidly charge your summoning gauge. Once the gauge is fully charged, holding down the touchpad will start the summoning ritual. The more team members that join the ritual, then the less time it will take for your team to bring the summon into battle. When an opponent is summoning, you will need to act quickly to make sure they don't finish. The best way to do this is by hitting them with a HP attack, since it will stop them casting and deal damage to their HP while they are vulnerable. But if you do manage to get caught in an opponent's summon, you'll need to be careful and avoid all of the hazards on the field. Only one summon can be active at a time, so during this time the team that has summoned will have the advantage. Now it's time to go over a few basics that will help you be more defensive and more aware of your surroundings. Before the battle starts, you will have a brief period to view your opponents and check their abilities so you have an idea of how to prepare for the coming battle. During the battle, you should always be aware of who's targeting you. This will be indicated by a line that shows which opponent is targeting you and the direction they're coming from. If you need to select another opponent during battle, pressing L2 will target an opponent on your left, R2 will target an opponent on your right, and L2 plus R2 will target the nearest opponent. You'll be able to see how far your opponents are from you by looking at the minimap. If an opponent is targeting you, then don't panic. You'll know if an attack is coming your way when the blue targeting line turns red. When that happens, you can press L1 to block the attack, or L1 in one of the directions to sidestep the attack. I found that blocking brave attacks and sidestepping or using brave attacks against HP attacks seems to be effective, since HP attacks take slightly longer to activate. Be careful though, if you block for too long and too many hits connect while you're blocking, your shield will break and you'll be left vulnerable. Dashing is another way to get away from your opponents, or to get closer to your opponents. But don't try to dash for too long, it will deplete your dash gauge, leaving you at a disadvantage if you need to use that for an emergency. And that should cover all the basics that you'll need to jump straight into the game and have some fun. The game may seem intimidating at first, but it's pretty simple once you understand the basics. But I do think this will be one of those games that will take a while to master. I'm honestly someone that lost interest in fighting games a while ago, but I'm also someone that is a huge fan of action RPG games. So this game feels like a nice mix of both genres, and it really does feel very familiar to me as a Final Fantasy fan, and as someone that played the previous game. So this game was Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. It's a game that I can see myself sticking with for a while, so I'll definitely be making some more videos for it. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe and share it if you want to see more. If you want to view my live streams, then follow me on Twitch. And if you want to stay up to date with everything I'm doing, then be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links to those are in the description. I'll be making some new videos very soon, but until I make those videos, I'll see you all later.